The James Conrad Trail was the #1 selling disc of 2024. The Innova Gorgon was right behind it on that list, probably coming in at the second or third slot, one of the most popular discs of the year. Now yesterday, I threw an entire Prodigy bag for an entire round, and I believe I discovered a disc that a lot of you guys have probably never thrown that is basically, if the Trail and the Gorgon had a baby, then you would get this disc right here. So this disc is the Prodigy H7. It comes in at a 10.5 -4.1. I had an absolute blast throwing this thing a ton yesterday. I do want to show you the side profiles because I feel like that's really what matters here. We got the H7 on the right, we got the Gorgon on the left. Essentially the exact same thing in my opinion. And then we'll throw the Trail on top here so you guys can see that as well. Look at these stark similarities in these discs. Now I've actually never seen someone out on the course throwing an H7, but when I was throwing it yesterday, it was a super fun experience. It flips up, it's glidey, super fun disc to throw. And I was really impressed by this disc, and I really wanted to compare it to the Trail and to the Gorgon. So I've got a G-Star Gorgon, I've got another plastic in the H7, and I have 2 Neutron Trails. We're going to do just a big comparison today. Let's throw the Gorgons first. I feel like a lot of people own and have thrown the Gorgon a ton. Then we'll throw the Trails, and then we'll throw the H7. The G-Star Gorgon is like super flippy. So if you get a G-Star Gorgon, just know that it's gonna be a flip dog. You can see that thing, whoa! Insane kick off the bridge. But you can see just on a nice chill throw, getting a turn all the way through the whole flight. And then if you want a little more stable one, go get yourself a Proto Glow or a Star. So you can see not nearly flipping up in the same way. So you can have a flippy Gorgon, you can have a stable Gorgon. Now when it comes to the Trail, I've personally been throwing this 169. It's been a little bit flippier than most other Trails I've thrown. This is the one that's been in my main bag for at least over a month now. And for that reason right there, look at that flight. Just hit that pole on the right side of the thing. I'm actually kind of crushing today. That was a smash. Now we've got the Hurrit stamp Trail. We've got the Auto stamp and one other special edition stamp. It's the Viva La Fiesta one. I think we still have these over at Disc Golf Deals USA. If you want to save 10% on any of these trails, click the link in the description below to access my storefront. Oh, I yanked it into oblivion. That might be gone forever. That's definitely in the water. We may have to say goodbye to that Trail. But let's throw the star of the show here before I go try to find that Trail. We've got the H7 in the 500 plastic. We also have it in the 400 plastic. Someone from Prodigy, please comment down below because these have 2 different flight numbers. 400's a 10 speed, 500's a 9 speed. And Will Schustrick sent me all these discs, but there wasn't really an explanation as to why they have different flight numbers. This is the H7 I was throwing at Hornet's Nest yesterday. I had a blast throwing this thing. It just wants to stay in the air forever. It's one of the most UFO-like flying discs I've ever thrown. It just pops up and turns really slow. That G-Star Gorgon popped up and turned really quickly. The H7, it finds its way to turn, but it takes its time doing it. It's a very unique flyer. And this one I have not thrown. It's 174 gram, 500 plastic. Feels a little more stiff. Let's see how this one flies. Wow, okay. Maybe a little bit flippier. Maybe I threw it slightly flatter. The H7 is fire. I actually think it's probably a tick or 2 more stable than that -4 turn would indicate. And I feel like that -4 turn would potentially even sometimes scare people from trying one out. Because if you've ever thrown something like the Discmania Function or some other disc with a -4 turn, it's almost unthrowably understable. And it's so bizarre that if you see the H7, they pretty much made the Trail before the Trail even existed. Like, they are just so similar. This plastic is a bit grippier and gummier than the Neutron plastic. Neutron's a bit more stiff, but mold-wise, I mean, so similar. The H7 might even have a little bit more dome on it than the trail. All right, thankfully the one I launched, it did go in the water, but I was able to save it. This Hurrit stamped one, I don't know if they're all like this, has a bit lower parting line than all of my other Neutron trails. And for that reason, I do believe it is a bit flippier. So we'll throw the Hurrit trail, then my normal trail, then we'll do the Gorgons, and then we'll do the H7. Let's try the Hurrit. I'll show you. This one's got quite a bit lower parting line, and I'm pretty sure it's going to flip quite a bit here. Yeah, see, that's because of the super low parting line height. That one is the flippiest trail that I own at this point. This one's been perfect for my arm speed since I got it. I really love this factory second Neutron trail. I get a subtle turn, but that's exactly what it is a subtle turn. It's not like that first trail just broke hard to the right. Two very different discs, those two trails. Very similar to how these two Gorgons are so different. Like this Gorgon, it was kind of usable when I got it, and I actually bagged it and liked it for a while, but it just got so understable. It's like almost, it's just a guaranteed roller disc for me now, like that. I mean, that went super far on a roller, but it's like the ill-advised roller. It's the roller you didn't mean to throw. We've all done one of those in our day. That's my ill-advised roller disc. Then we've got the G-Star, or the Proto Glow, which is a lot more controllable. Still having a big turn in the mid-flight. Wow, if that didn't hit the trees, that was gonna go so far. Then we've got the H7 here. This one was a bit flippier. Let's throw it out to the left on a bit of hyzer. See if we can't play with this turn a little bit. Yeah, so the 500 H7, I do believe, is quite a bit more understable than the 400. I also like the feel of the 400 plastic a lot more. Especially it's a little bit chillier out here. You just can sink your fingers into it. H7. Oh, I got over on that big time. Holding the turn all the way through the flight, kind of yanked over on that one, but I feel like those H7s are right in between the G-Star Gorgon and the trail. And I just wonder why the H7 never really caught on. Is it because it's just a general misunderstanding of Prodigy discs all around? Or did people just never give it a chance? Or is it because the flight numbers are somewhat misleading? All right, so let's give everything one last throw. So far, I feel like the H7 and the trail are super similar. I feel like the Gorgon is kind of the outlier here, where the G-Star Gorgon is flippier than everything. And then the Color Glow Gorgon is actually probably the most stable of the discs that I have in the collection today. Let's start off with the Hurrit Stamp Trail. Hopefully we don't yank this guy into the water again. Oh, that's such a good pull, but see how flippy that one is? Man, I am obliterating that bridge today. And this trail is a lot more reliable for me, and it's got this cool swirly red line in it, which I really like. Something about that trail, ever since I got it, I can just throw it on a rope every single time. That trail has not really done me dirty since I got it. Now we've got the G-Star. Just so I don't throw it in the water, we're gonna do a flick here. But it's just such a flip dog, that one. When those came out, everybody wanted one. They sold out instantly. I wonder if the new run is as flippy as the first run. But then we've got the Proto Glow. Still flippy, but like it's at least usable. And let's flick one of these H7s. I'm gonna take some power off it. We'll flick the flippier of the two. Just gonna give it a nice little three-step. Oh, I babied it. All right, let's not do that. The H7, these Domier discs, I don't really like forehanding them too much. Let's throw one last backhand with the 400 H7. So when put up in the air on some hyzer, maybe slightly nose up, it's still kind of stable. So it's definitely not a -4 in my opinion, but I definitely wanted to compare it to some popular discs. So when I was throwing the H7 yesterday, I was having an absolute blast doing it. It was super useful out on Hornet's Nest. That's a driver I can lean on for a ton of different shots. And I just thought the perfect way to describe the H7 was if the Gorgon and the Trail had a baby. And upon testing everything out, obviously nothing's perfect and all my throws aren't always exactly the same. I do my best. But I believe that is an accurate description of what the H7 is. And I feel like it's definitely a mold that I've never seen out in the wild. I've never seen somebody who owns an H7. So that being said, I thought it'd be fun to put you guys on to what if the Trail and the Gorgon had a baby? What would you get? You would get the H7. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Stay humble, live with gratitude. I will catch you in the next one, and take care.